publish it anywhere else on the web. I can get it out as a CSV file, a comma-separated variable file. I can get it as an atom or an RSS feed. I can get it in various ways. I'm going to publish it as CSV, comma-separated data. And the cells I'm going to take is just, we had, in the first column there was the rank, the size of the population of the city by rank. Then there was the name of the town, column B. Column C was the population. Column D was the country. I'm going to just grab the content from columns B and C, and I'm going to go from cells B1 down to something like C65, I think was the last one. And that, oh, come on, should give me a URL that's got the CSV values in it. B1 to C. Come on, machine. Oh, best laid plans of demos. Okay, I'm guessing that the key is range equals B1 to C65. We'll have to hope it is. It should have generated the URL for me. Right, so I'm going to grab the URL of the CSV output from this, and I'm going to go into a tool called Yahoo Pipes. So Yahoo Pipes lives at pipes.yahoo.com. It's an environment for processing RSS feeds originally, but you can also use it to process comma-separated value feeds. You can also use it to process XML. You can also use it to scrape things from HTML web pages, but it's not as easy to use as Google Spreadsheets for doing that. So if I create a pipe, I will explain how this environment works later on. I can fetch as a source a CSV file, and if I put the URL in, it's pulled in a set of items. It's pulled in a set of items corresponding to the rows in the table. Okay? So this is Yahoo Pipes. I've given it the URL for a Google spreadsheet, the comma-separated value output of a Google spreadsheet, which is itself pulling data from Wikipedia. So now in this Yahoo environment, I've got data from Wikipedia via Google Spreadsheets. All I've done so far is write import range equals an import range formula, or an import HTML formula in Google Spreadsheets, and I've copied a URL in Google Spreadsheets into this block. I'm going to just process this slightly. I'm going to name the columns in a particular way. I'm going to call the first column title and the second column description, which are elements that are used to define valid RSS feeds. And if I can skip the first row, use the column names I've spec, refresh the pipe. So as the title, I've got the names of the titles of the cities. I've got a description containing the population. Okay? Now, one thing I can do in Yahoo Pipes is I can geocode this information. I can give it this location, the name of the city, London, and I can get the latitude and longitude coordinates from that in a very, very easy way. The data that's represented in the Yahoo pipe is actually in the row is in a representation that looks a bit like an RSS feed. So we've got separate items, and the items have got different attributes. Okay. For each of those items, what I can do is I can look up the location. So I'm going to wire in a loop block, and the loop block says for every item in the feed. And then I'm going to go off and I'm going to get the location using a block called location builder. And I'm going to apply the location builder to the title element, which is the name of our city. And I'm going to take the outputs of that and I'm going to put it in a special attribute called y:location. The reason I put it in y:location is because the pipe will do magic if it's got latitude and longitude in those coordinates. If I refresh the pipe, come on pipe, what it'll do is it goes through each item in the feed, looks up the name of the city and goes off and gets the latitude and longitude. Okay? So for London, it's gone off and it's got the location, gives me the country back, the latitude and longitude. For some of the cities, it may or may not guess that it's in the UK. So for Birmingham, it thinks Birmingham, Alabama, I guess, right? Birmingham in the States. So what we just have to do, we have to give it a little bit of help. And the way I'm going to give it a little bit of help is I'm going to take the CSV output of the pipe. I'm going to use a block called regex, which is short for regular expression. So how many of you are familiar with regular expressions? Okay, a few. So a few admitting to it. Regular expressions are string manipulation expressions. They allow you to match patterns in strings of characters and do manipulations with it. So it's one way of tidying up. It's if you want to do a block replace of something in a text file, you can use a regular expression to do that. So what I'm going to do is just in the title element, I'm going to replace the whole title with the value of the title, comma, UK, just to give it a little bit of a crib that we're talking about locations in the UK. Okay? So that's pretty much the only programming I've got to do in the whole of this. And that's just because it thinks Birmingham's in Alabama, not in the UK. So if I wire the output of that pipe up, if we look at the outputs of that, we should now see, hopefully, Birmingham is in the UK. We've got the latitude and longitude for it. Okay, so I've got a list of place names. They've been pulled in from the spreadsheet. The location builder is geocoding them. If I save that pipe, Yahoo Pipes is clever. If it sees the attribute of an element, ylocate : location, and it sees there's a latitude and there's a longitude, when you run the pipe or look at the output of the pipe, it will preview the result in a map. Okay? So there we've got all the markers with the cities as description, the population of the city. So there we've got a map that's pulling in data from Google Spreadsheet that has itself come from Wikipedia. Right? The typing I've done was to paste in one URL to the Wikipedia page. I said table, and I said table number 1. I copied the CSV output from the spreadsheet into a Yahoo pipe, where I then pretty much the only programming I did was to add comma UK after every name, and it's generated a map for me with the locations. It can do more though. Because it knows that it's a map, it gives us an output as well called the KML output from the pipe. So KML is called Keyhole Markup Language, and it's the representation that is used to define overlays in Google Earth. Okay, so Google Earth, the 3D view of the world. If I copy that URL, is it copy shortcut in Windows? I guess it is. I'm a Mac user and I'm a Firefox user, so Explorer on a Windows box is always dangerous. So if I go to something like Google Maps, maps.google.com, in the search box, if I paste the URL of the KML file from Yahoo Pipes and hit the search button, it pulls the information in from the pipe. Okay, so we're in Google Maps, we're pulling data out of a Yahoo pipe, which came from a Google spreadsheet, which came from a Wikipedia HTML table with no program, no coding, right? We could, if we wanted to, we could grab the link from that page that would allow us to embed the widget in a third-party website. So we could, on any website, we could have the content. And if we changed the Wikipedia page, it would slowly propagate through to our map, our Google map, which could appear on our own web page. And one thing we could do is we could paste this, embed this map back on Wikipedia. Right, so it will be populating its map from its own page, but via this back end. I won't edit that page now, but that's, I mean, you could do that. So that's the demo of that. So what we've got, Wikipedia, we grab the URL from the HTML, we put it into a Google spreadsheet, use the import HTML formula, grab the CSV out from that into a Yahoo pipe, which does a conversion once we add the geodata into KML, which Google Map will render for us. Okay? So that as part of the workshop, I suggest you try and give that a go, or something similar. It's quite a fun activity to do. So what we're doing is we're taking a representation of something. Originally, in this case, it's an HTML table, and we're transforming it through applications. What we're doing, the applications can do one of two things.